Mayday, Mayday, it's Harrison. Hey man, nice to have you on your on our show, Averro Calling, on It's All About the Music. Yeah, and let's get straight into it. You are Harrison Shaw.
I am.
Some may know you from your track together with Hardwell called Sally. Others might know you from Ain't a Party with David Guetta and Glow in the Dark. But those who weren't able to get to know you should know who we are talking with, I think. So, yeah, Harrison, would you might briefly introduce yourself to the It's All About the Music audience?
Yeah, cool. I'm Harrison. I am a singer, songwriter, producer, and vocalist. I kind of been writing songs for about 4 or 5 years now in the dance territory, but before that I was doing kind of more pop-esque stuff. And really, it's been going pretty well for me. My debut single was with David Guetta, and that's now got like 17 million views on YouTube. And
whoa.
It's really helped kind of open the way towards doing other records with other people. You know, now I write and kind of producer in my own right with the new records that I've just signed to major labels. Had a #1 on iTunes with Hardwell with a track called Sally. And that kind of stirred the whole EDM scene to be talking about Hardwell, which was kind of like our plan the whole time. And everybody was talking about it. I even got to deadmau5.
Okay.
And yeah, and now my recent release is Mayday with Dannic and Lucky Date. And I checked this morning, it's been out for 3 days, and I was 17 in the top 100 on Beatport and #3 in Progressive House.
That's great. So now we know that you are a DJ playing your own sets, you're a producer, you're a vocalist, writing the lyrics that you're singing later, and you're still in your early 20s. Well, I'm producing and DJing too, not even half as successful as you are. But for me, it's quite hard to be the all-in-one solution to music. In German, it's called the eierlegende Wollmilchsau, which is kind of like you giving milk and be the pig as well to give bacon. And so how do you manage to do everything on your own? Because that's hard. That's just hard to imagine.
Well, originally, like when I was first going out and I was performing the David Guetta songs, when I had my first bookings, I had a DJ with me. I can't mention his name because he's probably listening. We're not very good friends anymore. Okay. And basically, the guy dropped out and he didn't show up to one show. So I found myself DJing and singing at the same time at my show. And the first one, I got to admit, is pretty difficult, yeah? But like after a while, like I started like understanding ways on which I could DJ. So in the beginning, I was kind of using Serato, so I could kind of sync the beat a lot with my eyes as well as kind of with the headphones. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So I was kind of using my different senses to do different things. And then, you know, it was quite difficult in the beginning because I used to have to put the microphone into the Pioneer, and that can really sound bad.
Yeah.
So, but now obviously, you know, most of the time it's done through a PA system in the club or from the festival, wherever I play. And so they've got their own kind of level, and all I really have to worry about is getting the songs in there. So really, the record box and stuff like that kind of helps because you got to really like cue different songs and really know each song completely in and out that you're playing. I wouldn't say that like when I turn up to a festival or a show or whatever that I completely know what my set is going to be, but I would say that I know every song I'm going to play. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I don't know the order, but I know each song in and out, and I know what fits into what and where it fits in and like how I'm supposed to mix it up. So like the other day I went on After Cascade in Ministry of Sound in London, and that was like absolutely amazing. So like doing shows like that is really cool, and testing out the new stuff and like stuff that people haven't heard, but like I've got coming up, and record labels like Spinning, record labels like, you know, Revealed and stuff like that. That's cool to test out as well. And, you know, people love new songs. Like they go nuts for stuff that they know, but, you know, they also love shit that they haven't heard. And that's the best type of crowds to play to.
Did you have any help as well?
Yeah, on the DJ front. Yeah, the DJ front. The first couple of times I went out, I had a mentor teach me kind of like the basics and how to do it. And his name's Judge Jules.
Okay.
And he's kind of like one of the big kind of forefathers of DJing. So he was like one of the very first that started in, I think he was like #1 DJ in the world for something like 10 years running. You know, this is even before Tiesto. It's like, this is like really old school, and like he's still quite a massive name actually. And he kind of taught me the basics, but like I can imagine when he started out DJing, it was on vinyls and it was kind of a lot more different. And then the vinyls went to CDs, and CDs, like I can imagine like now it must be so easy to just do your set on a record box and then go into the club and just like plug in the memory stick and play. But, you know, he taught me, you know, best ways to use the effects on the Pioneer to kind of come in and out of songs. And but I guess the biggest thing that kind of I was learning with Jules was how to read the crowd and know when to play and what to play. That's the hardest thing, like, because you can just play records. Mixing a record is the same every time, but every crowd you go to is different. And if you're playing to a bunch of like students, then you need to play a little bit safer. Because like, you know, they might not know all the songs that you're going to play on your set, but if you're playing like a bigger venue or a festival, you can kind of get away with whatever you want. So like the bigger the crowd, the more you can kind of get away with. So yeah, it's kind of different, but you know, it's all cool. And being the only singing DJ in the world right now is that I know of, is really unique as well, because it's helping me get bookings.
Let's get back to Sally, because you just mentioned that it was a plan all the time to have everybody talking about it, and it was talk to be might be offensive or trashy even, or stuff like childish. And what can you say is the message behind the track?
Well, dude, like first off, I think everybody takes Sally too literal in the beginning. I think everybody's like, "Oh my God, what the hell is he saying?" But we knew what we were doing like the whole time, bro. Like there was a plan to this, and every DJ in the world was talking about it. And now you look on YouTube with the music video, there's like over 2 million views in something like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And something like 28,000 thumbs up and 1,000 thumbs down. So first off, haters are always going to be louder than the people that don't care. Because I can ask you a question. How many people do you know that actually write a comment on YouTube?
Yeah, I know that.
Like, I don't know anybody that writes a comment on YouTube. So like, first off, there's that, which is like ridiculous anyway, because people that write stuff on YouTube have got obviously no time on their hands to be writing comments on YouTube. That's kind of ridiculous in the first place. The idea behind Sally was to make a record that got the crowd pumped, just like Ain't a Party did, at 5 in the morning at a Hardwell show, and everyone was going to sing the dirty lyrics. And, you know, it's like the peak of the show and the energy's high and it's like a festival crowd. And I mean, if you've ever been to an I Am Hardwell show, they're so intense, like like stadiums. So like from that point of view, he's going to play these big lyrics. And like I was looking at the Portugal videos the other day, and everybody in the crowd knew the name. And kids love swearing, man. Like when they're in clubs or wherever they are, it's great. And sometimes you can have extremely serious lyrics in songs. You know, you can't be talking about extremely serious stuff in a dance song, because, you know, like it's supposed to be a happy experience. It's supposed to be when you're in the club with your friends on a Friday night having fun. Sally is not something you listen to on a Monday morning in the car to work.
Well, I did. I recently did. I have to admit.
But I'm just saying, in general, it's not really that song, you know. Like, and we experimented with so many other sounds, and he did on his album. You know, and it's not necessarily just Sally. I mean, I see a lot of comments on my Twitter feed every day of people saying, wow, Sally's my favorite track on the album, because it's different, you know, like it doesn't sound like anything else. And, you know, a lot of record labels now that are coming up to me and asking me for songs and stuff, they were like, yo, you should make some kind of rock and dance music songs. Like that Sally one was amazing. And it went #1 in like iTunes in Netherlands. I got to perform it like on TV. Like I did 2 arena shows back to back. I really think the track is fantastic, you know, and the views don't lie. It goes up about 35,000 views a day, and it has done every day for like God knows how long now. But like you could just predict that by the end of the month it will be at 3 million and 4 million, 10 million, and it will just keep going. it's a really cool track, and it doesn't sound like anything else. We didn't follow any other kind of leads. We just wanted to make something cool and individual and by itself, and that's what we did.
When we take Sally serious for just one moment, just to have a funny view as well, Sally is a hot girl in the video, definitely she is. And who do you think is the hottest DJ in the scene? And note, Paris Hilton is not available to vote for.
I wouldn't say Paris Hilton's hot anyway, bro. I think the hottest DJs in the scene right now would be DJ Kim Cat.
Okay.
Which is Kim Lee and Cat Nova. They're actually friends of mine as well. But I'm not gonna lie, I think Juicy M's pretty hot too. I don't really fancy Nervo, but that's just me. But definitely for the other two, I would say Kim Cat is the hottest.
I have to check them out after this.
Dude, you're gonna
let's get to music again. Your latest release on Revealed Recordings is called Mayday, featuring Dannic and Lucky Date. You told me before. And the vocals you did are really emotional in that point and slower in comparison to other works you did. So what do you like better? Being emotional in your voice and in your lyrics, or on such tracks like Mayday, or doing a great party anthem like Ain't a Party, for example? Oh,
the reason why I did Mayday was because I wanted to prove to everybody that writing the sad shit was just as easy as doing the other stuff, you know, like I wanted the Mayday is really credible, you know, and Dannic's a very credible artist, and I would never get away with going, let me see your in hands or whatever. Like, I'd never get away with that with Dannic, because he's such a straight dude, and he cares a lot about the music, and he's so into production, and he wants to be taken as a serious artist. And you know, like he's really cool in that way, and so is Lucky Date as well. You know, like they want to be kind of under the radar guys. You know, Dannic was like, I've got this idea floating around. I said, send it over and I'll write it out. And then he was like, bro, I absolutely love Sally. And I was like, cool. And then I kind of came back, was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything like Sally. I'm gonna write like a ballad.
Okay.
And so I kind of did it, you know, and I've kind of understood the history of Revealed is very like Apollo or Spaceman, or, you know, like they're very like space based.
Okay.
So I had this idea in my head. It would be easy for me to write something along the lines of something kind of space or airplane, or like along that kind of.
Okay, I got the idea. Yeah.
So basically, I had the idea of Mayday, Mayday, we're coming down, because I don't like flying very much. So I have an app on my phone, and it's called Are We Going Down? I had the idea, I had the instrumental on the plane, and I was like, Mayday, Mayday, we're going down.